Hi, everyone. Welcome to our education topic for this week for our Cancer Fit exercise program. Today, we'll be talking about cancer-related fatigue. So if you have your Cancer Fit education booklet that you received at your orientation, we will be talking about that very first page, that very first topic, cancer-related fatigue. Remember, if you do not have your booklet with you, that is fine. I will pull up this handout on your screen so you can see it, and we can follow along together of what we're talking about today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So we'll pull up the handout. And so you should see that handout come up onto the screen. So I'll go ahead and you can follow along with my cursor here. So we'll talk about cancer-related fatigue. And let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more for you on this one. That way you can see it a little bit. Oh, there we go. Nice and big. All right. So we're talking about cancer-related fatigue. So what is it? What is cancer-related fatigue? Pretty much every cancer survivor has stated at one time or another that they may have been experiencing some type of fatigue. And that just means you're feeling tired either physically or mentally. It can be caused by cancer treatments. So you don't have to have one particular treatment to experience fatigue. It can be overwhelming, debilitating. You feel like you can't move, you have no energy whatsoever, all those things that you feel maybe like it's just out of control. It is one of the most common side effects of cancer and cancer treatment. So you're not abnormal for having that extreme fatigue. And then just easy, simple activities, things that you used to can breeze through are taking longer, and you feel like you're really out of energy as soon as they're completed, or you don't even have the energy to do those simple tasks. And again, that's very common. So the way we describe fatigue, we have a little fatigue scale. So the way we do it here in our Cancer Fit program, um, it goes from 10 to 1. So normal scales go from 1 to 10. Like if you think about the pain scale, it goes from 1 to 10. This scale that we use is reversed because we don't want you to associate it with pain. This is that fatigue, that debilitating fatigue. And so you can see by the little illustrations here, just basically how you may feel. So think about right now, how you feel right now today on this scale. So 10 means no fatigue. You can do whatever you want. You have no lack of energy whatsoever. Mild fatigue, I'm a little bit tired, but I can keep going. It's nothing that I have to sit down for. Moderate is like I feel a little bit tired, but I definitely, it's not abnormal. Extreme fatigue, you don't want to do anything, you don't want to go anywhere, you just want to do just what this little guy is doing, sitting in a chair with a remote. That's a 4 through a 2. And then the worst fatigue, you're completely exhausted. And I know a lot of people probably have been here. You're completely exhausted. All you want to do is lay down. You can't even lift a finger. That's how tired you are. So that's kind of how we describe the fatigue. If you're about a 10, maybe a 9, 8, or 7, you can keep going. Maybe, you can plan some activities. You probably can push through it. You probably can push through it and you'll probably feel better on the other side. When you get down to this extreme, the worst fatigue, you have to listen to your body. If you feel like you can't get out of a chair, then don't get out of a chair. If you feel like, you just really want to just lay down because you're just that tired, your body is trying to tell you something and you need to rest. My other illustration that I always go with as well is the roller coaster. And we'll kind of talk about that roller coaster. But for now, just kind of see where your fatigue is right now. So again, this may vary from day to day. It may have no rhyme or reason. So that's just kind of what we use just to kind of see what our readiness for exercise is. So remember, if you're no fatigue, mild fatigue, maybe even moderate, then you can go ahead and try to exercise. When you get down to here, I'd rather you just take the day off and listen to your body and not do anything. All right, so what can cause fatigue? So we already talked about cancer and cancer treatment. Those are some of the main causes. Other things are not pacing yourself. Here comes my roller coaster explanation. So not pacing yourself, not getting enough rest, or doing too much too soon. A lot of times we get very frustrated, anxious because we're not able to do the things that we were used to doing. We're not able to complete our tasks, and we try to push ourselves too far. And that's where we can sink down into that lower fatigue, that extreme fatigue feeling. So if you think about fatigue as a roller coaster, it has highs and it has lows. Sometimes our lows can last for a very long time and our highs can be very short lived. And what happens with most people, they have that low where they're extreme fatigue for days and they can't do anything. And so they just see tasks and things that they need to get done pile up around them. So they get maybe 3 days of rest and they have that one good day where they start feeling a little bit better. So they have all these things piling up around them. So what do they try to do? We try to do everything that we didn't do, all the stuff on our to-do list. So we're up here, we do everything on our to-do list, and then we sink back down, right? Because we did way too much too soon. We didn't get enough rest and we didn't pace ourselves. And so we have maybe 3 more days where we don't feel good. And we get that one smidge a day where we feel good. We're up here, we're high. And then we do everything that's piled up around us and we sink back down. So you do not want to do that. You really want to pace yourself. You want to prioritize, only do things that need to be done, and try not to overwork on days where you feel good. That's the number one thing. Do not overwork yourself on days that you feel good, thinking that you can do everything and you'll continue that, because you'll do too much and you'll sink back down. So um, that can cause fatigue in itself, not pacing yourself. Pain can cause fatigue, of course. Untreated symptoms are side effects from anemia or other medications related to your cancer treatment. Other medical conditions not related to cancer. So it could, you may have underlying heart conditions. You may have pulmonary issues. You may have hypothyroidism. So a lot of other things, is compounding on that cancer treatment and cancer. So stress, anxiety, depression, any type of mental issues can cause fatigue as well. And then just lack of balance in your life. So, you know, maybe before you were diagnosed, everything was in control. And now you just, you're not eating healthy like you used to because you're just grabbing anything that you can get down. You're not exercising. Maybe you don't have a lot of support. So you feel like you're all alone doing things. You're not getting enough sleep. So all those things, not having a balance of exercise, eating healthy, support, and sleep can cause you to have more fatigue as well. What does it feel like when you're fatigued? So you have a weak feeling, of course, all over the entire body. You just feel run down, hit by a truck, all those analogies that I've heard. Difficulty concentrating. You can't concentrate on a task. You're tired. So even sleep, even rest, days doesn't relieve it. You don't have energy, or you have decreased energy. You just don't have the motivation. You have no motivation whatsoever to be active or do anything. And then you're just irritable, nervous, anxious, impatient. All those things can mean that you're experiencing that fatigue. So we said all this to say, okay, what can you do? Number one, get off that roller coaster. We talked about that. Try to level out your energy. Only do things that are the most important. So, but number one here on this bullet point is keep an energy journal. So write down the days and the times that you feel the best. So, Sunday through Saturday journal. Write down, if have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, you just feel bad, make sure that, you're keeping track of, and then maybe Wednesday, you feel the best. So write down the day you feel the best, write down the time you feel the best, and just kind of keep track of it, maybe on paper or mentally. I would recommend that you keep track of it on paper, the days, and you'll notice a trend. If you keep doing that, you'll notice a trend of the days and the times you feel the best. If you notice a trend, then don't plan anything to do on the times where you feel the worst, or try not to overwork on the days that you know you're going to feel the worst. If you know that you feel the best on Wednesday afternoons, then, maybe plan to go to the grocery store on Wednesday afternoons, plan, to get things done on Wednesday afternoon. So you'll notice trends. And then once you notice the trends and you notice the days that you feel the best, prioritize. Okay, well, I know on Wednesday afternoons I feel the best. I'm going to plan to do my laundry on Wednesday afternoon. That's the most important thing right now. So whatever the most important things, make a list of the things you do, write a number outside of it. 1, do the laundry. 2, go shopping. 3, clean the floors, or whatever you need to do. That way you can kind of cross it off and making sure that you're doing the most important things, and the other things that are not so important, you can leave those for another day that you feel better. Ask for help. So if number one, you have to, do the laundry. Number 2, you have to go to the grocery store. 3, clean the floors. Well, maybe delegate, clean the floors. Ask for help. So there are a lot of people involved, hopefully, in your support system in your life that are sometimes chomping at the bit to want to know how can they help? How can they help you in this time of need? So you do have things, that they can help with, because you don't feel that you can do it. You don't have the energy. So delegate those activities and ask for help. Take breaks and rest as needed. Exercise only as tolerated. Remember, don't exercise when you're fatigued to extreme or you're having those down days. But when you feel a little bit better, try to start with something light like stretching and yoga. Those are things, or walking, something that doesn't expend too much energy, because remember, we're trying to use exercise to make you feel better, not worse. Organize your environment. So, try to make sure things are easily within reach, and, you're not working so hard in your environment and it's nice and organized for you. Try to eat a healthy, balanced diet as much as you can. I know that sometimes that's hard to do, but if you don't eat a healthy, balanced diet, or if you're not getting enough calories or you're not getting enough nutrients, that can really weigh you down and make you more fatigued. And then just try to reduce stress as much as possible. I know that's easier said than done, but there are, coping mechanisms we can use, such as relaxation, techniques, meditation, prayer, counseling, because stress is definitely going to make that fatigue worse. Um, if all of the above steps show no relief, then try to talk to your healthcare professional. Say, my fatigue is really not getting better, and it's becoming more and more severe. And then you feel like it has nothing to do with activity or anything you do. You just are, just run down. I would definitely talk to your doctor about that. And then this information has come from the University of Texas and the Anderson Cancer Center. They had Handout, and you can also get information from cancercare.org. That's a really good website that I like a lot. And then the fatigue scale was provided by the Oncology Nursing Society. So that's pretty much fatigue. Let me stop my share. All right, so that was fatigue. So remember, pace yourself, know where you are on the scale. If you're having an extreme fatigue day, take the time to rest. Do things only when you're in that upper level, that 10, 9, 8, or 7. Make a journal, figure out the days you feel best, and try to plan accordingly. I know all this is easier said than done, but if you try to, some of these things that may help you get through your fatigue, and we can get to the point where exercise is making us feel better. All right, so remember, if you have any questions, you can just send me an email, or when I call, or you can call me here at the fitness center, 336-878-6221, if you have any questions. All right, thank you for watching, and you guys stay safe and healthy.